Canadian PM Trudeau makes a statement in his parliament of Indian interference in his country's affairs. It emerges that the information was shared with the Five Eye countries. In fact, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, in a show, stated that there was a lot of intel shared by a Five Eyes ally, and other Five Eye nations, though have not overtly been posturing against India, but they do assert tilting of the balance towards Canada. India, on the other hand, has not only taken reciprocative action by expelling a diplomat, but gone a step ahead by announcing non-issuance of visas to Canadian applicants.
Frankly, this is a very serious accusation that Trudeau has made. It has the potential of destroying India-Canada relations for a very long time to come. This is a downside for both countries because Canada is not an enemy country. India is not an enemy country to Canada either. So if Trudeau is doing this for domestic politics, he will be sacrificing a lot for domestic politics. We know that he's trailing in the opinion polls and is likely to face serious challenges to his re-election next year. That said, the accusations that he has made, and he's repeated them in at the UNGA, has been serious enough for this to become a big international event. It's going to be a mess that will spread beyond Canada's borders, because this is not a simple accusation of foreign interference. It is an accusation against another democracy of extraterritorial action. So that's on the seriousness of the accusation that Justin Trudeau has made. On the veracity, two things. One, he chose to go to Parliament to make a suo motu statement with allegations, with no sharing of evidence that we know or intelligence. For a prime minister to do that without credible evidence is not easy. Indian officials have said that they have asked the Trudeau government for evidence. They have not got any. As for Nijjar, the death of Nijjar, now you have to see what Nijjar was. He was not only a Khalistani extremist. Nijjar actually was basically a petty criminal. Among other things, he entered Canada on a fake passport, married somebody for a Canadian passport, and became a Canadian citizen even after a red corner notice was issued against him. He has been at the forefront of the Khalistani movement, which is, as you know, has received a fresh lease of life in the last 3-4 years. People like Nijjar are not only ideologues and not only secessionist extremists, but have also been mixed up with organized crime in Canada. In fact, one of Nijjar's associates, a gangster, actually claimed a killing of a Congress party leader in Moga on the very day that Prime Minister Trudeau was making that allegation in Parliament. And he announced it on Facebook. So it's not a question of did he do it, did he not? He announced it on Facebook. So we know that. We also know that several killings in Punjab have been traced to Canada. So this is not a simple subject. It's not a simple killing. There are many layers to this, and I suspect things between Canada and India will get much worse before they get better. one doesn't really know, but you can conjecture. I mean, what I'm saying is just pure speculation. One is, he may have felt humiliated after his second disastrous trip to Delhi. He wasn't invited for a number of events where I think he felt that he should have been. He, I think, boycotted the president's dinner, if I'm not mistaken. He was forced to remain in Delhi for an extra 2 days. I think he felt humiliated and felt the need to lash out. That's one. I think he felt that this was a good way of appeasing his domestic constituency, his junior partner. Remember, his junior partner, Jagmeet Singh of the New Democratic Party, has actually gone on record to say that Prime Minister Modi himself is responsible. And that, in fact, Jagmeet Singh has so openly accused India for killing of Nijjar, for Nijjar's killing, that you will have to wonder whether there will be any investigation, any report that is even remotely credible. Third, I mean, you have to see that there is a public inquiry that is underway, that has started, about election interference in Canada. That was actually about China, but Jagmeet Singh apparently added India, Iran, and Russia to that inquiry. So we are going to be seeing a public inquiry coming through. That public inquiry has today been colored because Trudeau has thrown India under the bus. And officials here have said that Trudeau did this because the inquiry would find that his party has very close links with the Chinese Communist Party. So diverting attention to India makes a lot of sense. We have to see, because I mean, so far, apart from saying that they're concerned, extreme concern, and that they're working to establish the intelligence behind this or evidence behind this, we've seen this publicly stated, but we haven't seen anything more than that. I presume there's a lot that would be happening behind closed doors at the between diplomats. Foreign Minister Jaishankar is in New York today and will be in Washington DC next week. I suspect he will be having talks with his US counterparts on all of these issues. We'll have to wait and see. This is not going to be an easy problem to solve. There is no easy resolution on this one. I would say that there will be many more steps that India will take, because this is a kind of a reputational attack that India would have to fight on all fronts. So I'm pretty certain many more steps will be taken by India. But you have to remember that there are Indians, there are about 60 to 70,000 Indians who take Canadian citizenship every year. There are about 3 lakh Indian students going to Canada every year, actually even more than America. There are over 1 lakh taking permanent residency in Canada every year. There is Canadian private equity, pension funds are heavily exposed in India. because they invest deeply in all Indian sectors, from renewables to infrastructure, etc. None of this is good for either side. But I think where Canada has gone, it would be hard for it to come back. An added point on this I would like to make, and this is following you're saying that if there is credible intelligence which cannot come up in a court of law, it will become, my accusation is bigger than your accusation or louder than your accusation. But there will never be a resolution on this one if that is the case. So India has actually asked Canada to provide it the evidence that it has for why it made that accusation about India. And much more concerning is the fact that because their Prime Minister actually stood up in Parliament and leveled that allegation against India, no investigation in Canada will be deemed to be without prejudice. That his statement has, by its very nature, has completely colored the investigation, which, by the way, in these 3 months has not produced either evidence or a suspect. We'll have to see whether ordinary Indians are targeted by Khalistani elements in Canada. They haven't been targeted yet. In fact, all reports say that Indian students are perfectly fine, they're safe, there's really nothing to worry. And I don't think that they would be targeting ordinary Indians. I mean, we can accuse Trudeau of a whole lot of misses and ill intentions, but I don't think the ordinary Canadian is anything like that. In fact, Canada is a very, very peaceful country. It's a safe country, so I see no reason for any Indian in Canada or Indian student in Canada to feel even remotely threatened.